Hello everyone, I'm Anthony Wilson, and this is Magic Talk. I'm here with my friend, Dan Kegerries. Say hi, Dan.
What's up?
Today we're going to be talking about the Bludrazi Green deck, which is actually the mono green elf deck that splashes blue for counter magic.
My idea.
Yep, all original. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the deck right now and talk about its matchups. So here we go. Here's what the deck looks like. It's laid out. You've got your standard elf package right here. Llanowar Elves, Elvish Visionary, Joraga Warcaller, Nissa's Chosens. Back here you got Sylvan Rangers, Elvish Archdruid, and Master of the Wild Hunt. And here is your spell package. This is where things change. You've got Unified Will, Vines of Vastwood, Negate, Mana Leak. Then of course you have Nissa and Eldrazi Monument. And running one of Kozilek the Butcher, which we will get into later. The mana base is mostly forest, running Misty Rainforest, of course. And we have Oran-rief, Vastwood, 3 islands, and this is another piece of tech right here, the Mystifying Mazes, which we'll get into more later as well. So Dan, what can you tell me about this deck? Is there anything specific you would like to say about it?
I just like to, I like telling people that I made this deck because people did not tell me to splash blue. I had a green elf shell built, and it was awful because mono green is just not doable with this elf pattern. Everyone was telling me to splash red, white, or black for things, so I splashed blue, and it's worked wonders.
Awesome, and I'm assuming the counter magic is to help to prevent board sweepers like Day of Judgment and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, board sweepers, planeswalkers, Oblivion Ring, any sort of removal spell. Vines of Vastwood over here is effectively a green counter spell against a lot of spot removal spells. I don't know how many times I've been able to Vines a Maelstrom Pulse that was going to just wreck my day, or turned an Oblivion Ring into a useless enchantment that just sits there.
That's awesome. So so against blue-white control, then it's pretty much a good game, or
it can be good. It's a draw-dependent game. It's basically a game of who gets the counter spells. If I don't draw into a good set of counter spells, or if I miss a land drop, or I get a bad top decking, it goes if I let them go, it goes downhill very fast.
Okay. All right. How do you do against the Mythic Conscription deck?
Well, you talked about the tech of Mystifying Maze. That just wrecks because they try to swing, you maze their creature, you don't take damage, their enchantment's gone forever.
Awesome. Awesome. How are you against red deck?
Red deck, game 1 is definitely an uphill battle. They'll usually get it unless I can throw down Nissa and gain my life back before they're able to burn me out. Game 2 it gets better because I'm able to play the Obstinate Baloths from the sideboard, which is just pound for pound a great card. 4/4 body, blocks most of their swingers, and it gains me 4 life. They definitely have to work around it. And it's usually also figure out what style of red deck wins they're playing, and I can adjust my strategy appropriately.
Right. Well, let's talk about your sideboard for a minute here. You got 4 Great Sable Stags. What do these come in against?
Blue-white control, Planeswalker control. There's a new build of Suicide Black running around. Against some of the Mythic decks, too, because they run some blue guys, you can swing past Wall of Denial pretty easily with them.
I'm sure they come in...
Also Jund.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure they come in against Jund and vampires and whatnot. Here we have Brittle Effigy. What does this come in against?
That comes in primarily against polymorph decks, or mass polymorph decks as they were, if you're not using your combo that you mentioned in a previous video. They're also good against the Conscription deck if I don't draw anything else. I usually bring those in because I can get rid of their sovereigns forever. It's amazing against Gideon Jura.
Okay.
Just getting rid of him, and it's one of my only tools for getting rid of Linvala, who will basically shut down this deck.
Yeah, you have a lot of activated abilities with a lot of your dudes here, so I can see how that can screw you up a bit. Here you have 3 Pithing Needles. What are these for?
Planeswalker control, blue-white control, Super Friends, Grixis control because they run a couple walkers. It's basically getting rid of Jace the Mind Sculptor, and I'd like to take a moment to editorialize and say that Wizards is dumb for not reprinting this in M11.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. What is this? Nature's Claim.
Yep, that's we used to call that Swords to Naturalizes because it kills things and gains its controller life. It's great against things like Oblivion Ring, it's great against the Eldrazi Mirror Match, it's great against Conscription, and it's great against Basilisk Collar.
Alright, that's pretty interesting. It sounds like you've got pretty much everything covered here. I can't think of anything else that you might have a problem with.
Well, I've been working on this deck for a long, long time. Pretty much since Zendikar came out, have I built this.
And what's with the one Kozilek here?
Well, I was running into a late game problem. I had no card draw, and Mind Springs just didn't work, because people suggest that. They just didn't work as well as I wanted them to. So one of my buddies, as we're deck building, getting ready for Grand Prix DC, says, I've got it. Kozilek, Butcher of Truth. Figure, you know, why not? Put it in the deck. Get to round 4 of the Grand Prix at DC against red-blue-white control. That was still big back then.
Yeah.
Had a pretty good setup. The guy Marshall Coos, I've just got lands, I'm drawing lands. He's hitting me with soldier tokens. I'm thinking, well, I'm done. Rip top deck, Kozilek. Throw him down, force him to Day of Judgment, throw down Nissa, Monument, Master of the Wild Hunt next turn. And just come back to smash face.
That is freaking awesome.
If he resolves, you win unless they were able to win next turn anyway, in which case it wasn't going to help you that much.
That is sick. Man, it sounds like you can have some great times with this deck.
It's great. It's great, and it's mine. You know, if you like it as you're watching this, you can feel free to use it or use it as inspiration for your own. I'm all for people building their own decks in this day and age of Moto and the Hive Mind and everyone just ripping deck lists offline because they're good. And this deck is also pretty budget. As far as good standard decks go, it's under $300 for the total value, so it also proves you don't have to have a bottomless wallet for $80 and $50 planeswalkers to do well in the tournament.
Yeah, it looks like the only money in here is probably the Nissas and the Misty Rainforest and the one Kozilek.
Nissa's not even really that expensive because she is a very narrow planeswalker, which I will say I do like. I like the idea of planeswalkers designed like that to fit in one niche deck and be really good in it.
Yeah.
There's really nothing in here that's terribly expensive.
Sounds good. All right, everyone. If you like this deck, we will be posting the deck list in the description below. Feel free to build it, test it, and give us your feedback. Let us know how it runs for you and
if you
how
play
it goes
let us
out.
know how you did.
There you go. All right. Well, I hope this has been educational, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.